Paul Bradley went to Rwanda for comic relief to visit a project supporting widows of the genocide. He returned 2 years later with journalist Fergal Keane.
Paul often says that it was, a life-changing experience, and I think you could see that happening in front of your eyes.
Looking very well.
The films I like are when we're doing something and you learn who people are and what they do and what they've gone through. And those films, to me, seem to have the most impact.
Who did that one? That's Bradley. This is
The thing that people probably don't know about comic relief is that it's cast. They sort of look around and they say, "Oh, well, they'd be quite good for that." And when I met Richard Curtis, he said, "Well, 2 people have turned this down," and I was sort of initially very excited to be going to Africa. And you sort of think, "Oh, great," And of course, when you get out there, you could just go, "Oh my God." The project that Comic Relief was sponsoring was called AVEGA Agozo.
And my husband was killed, like my entire family, my parents, my sister, and aunties and cousins and everybody.
I have never seen such cruelty exercised by man.
Like any survivor, you were thinking I'm the only one surviving. I met other friends who were also widowed, and it was so good to be talking. This is how we started AVEGA, but the Association of the Widows of the Genocide. In the beginning, very informal, between friends, to talk, to share clothes if you have clothes, because we have lost everybody, but we lost also everything.
I always think the hope of the world is from people like Esther and the people in AVEGA that I met.
I lived 1 year in England, so I knew EastEnders. It was so human that you even forget that he's a brilliant actor here.
I was totally unprepared.
One of the saddest things here is you see a little kid's skull, and there are many around here. Many.
It's just such a waste. Such a waste.
There are times when I wished I hadn't gone. Couldn't sleep for a long time after. I still have nightmares. I saw and heard things which I wouldn't have done, that have affected me deeply, upset me tremendously, made me feel useless.
He took me into the house where there was a bed and ordered me to take off my clothes, but I refused, so he raped me.
What he saw, what he heard, what he realized, it was unbearable.
Then there was another. He did not even undress himself. He ordered me to have sex with him as well.
Many of the women who endured the loss of their loved ones were raped as part of the campaign of violence and are now dying of AIDS.
At moments he cried, although he tried to go away to cry, or he tried not to show it, but he couldn't stop it. He has been wounded as well. You can't remain the same. If you remain the same, then you are not normal. This was so touching for the women. Here is a foreigner, and he's crying because of what happened to me. This cardigan is very important for Immaculée. It belongs to the past, and it belongs to her journey during the genocide, so she's keeping it now. For the women in AVEGA, in Rwanda, for the survivors, for somebody who is taking you for a human being, it is already something.
They don't have a shred of self-pity for what's happened to them. They're getting on with their lives, and they're very positive, and I don't know how they do it. I think they must be superhuman. And I don't know.
If it was grant and money and no interest in the person, no interest in who we are and how we're denied our humanity, it has no meaning.
On the outskirts of Kigali is a very special place. It's a village built by AVEGA specifically for the widows and their children. The warm arms of AVEGA spread around families where there are no dads and where mums know they have little time left.
We have some organizations who have been funding us, but then when Sudan became more fashionable, or Congo or something else, they moved to where they have to go, where they can more easily collect the money. The long-term commitment is so important. This is the joining together of comic relief and us. There is the hell and there is the hope.